Tonight, on this special hour-long edition of NewsVision, deadly storms continue to hit the United States as FEMA faces investigation over the agency's response this hurricane season. Plus, President-elect Trump has announced his picks for most positions in his cabinet as he is preparing to return for a second term. We'll break down Trump's most recent picks. And later on, one crew in South Florida is crashing through waves and stigmas to empower people with disabilities.
But doing something where they feel they have a purpose.
All this and more on tonight's show. NewsVision starts right now. Good evening, and thank you for tuning into this week's special hour-long edition of NewsVision. I'm Ben Freeman.
And I'm Gracie Palmer. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we begin by looking at the aftermath of Tropical Storm Sarah. Tropical Storm Sarah tore through Honduras, then passed through Belize. Sarah was downgraded to a tropical depression when it made landfall in Belize and was expected to lose strength as it moved further inland. There are currently 4 confirmed deaths, but many people are still missing.
Now, Sarah was expected to hit the coast of Florida, but anticipated in the Gulf of Mexico. Quinn Davidson is here in studio to tell us more about Sarah's path. Quinn, what can you tell us?
Well, Tropical Storm Sarah formed just to the east of Honduras, and we are very lucky it did not take that trek up towards Florida. It interacted with Central America, and as you can see, that path was just to the north of that Honduran coast. It basically hugged that and dropped lots of rain, moving extremely slow. You see west at just 2 miles per hour. It was practically stationary, and this allowed for Sarah to drop up to 20 inches of rain in areas in Honduras. So 9 bridges were destroyed by fast-flowing waters, and another 19 were damaged. More than 2,500 homes were destroyed, and 200 absolutely decimated. Now on the west coast, Gracie and Ben, there is another cyclone impacting the Pacific Northwest in states like Oregon and Washington. There has already been an additional amounts of 6 to 10 inches possible in areas of California where the Weather Prediction Center has issued a level 4 out of 4 risk, a very high risk, very rare issuance in the National Weather Service for flash flooding. And that is already on top of what we've already seen, half a foot to a foot of rainfall in those areas.
Now, Quinn, I feel like 2024 has seen storm after storm after storm. I mean, why is this all happening?
It's just going to be one of those things we're going to have to keep an eye as climate change does progress in the future with our human emissions increasing that risk.
I mean, Quinn, it truly is awful, and I hope that we don't see one for a while. But for now, there are already 2 confirmed deaths from the storm, both from falling trees. Nearly 500,000 people are without power on the West Coast, with some areas seeing over a foot of rain or snow. And scientists say these storms are rare. They usually happen only once a decade. This storm rapidly intensified in a process known as bombogenesis and was later termed a bomb cyclone.
After the devastation of this year's environmental disasters, President Biden has asked Congress for roughly $100 billion of aid, and $40 billion of that would go to FEMA, nearly double the amount budgeted for the agency this year. FEMA says they need the extra cash as deadly wildfires out west and Hurricanes Helene and Milton drained the agency's budget. It remains unclear if this $100 billion price tag will be approved before Trump takes power on January 20th.
Biden's request comes as the head of FEMA is on Capitol Hill testifying over alleged Trump bias during hurricane relief efforts. Amanda Mohammed tells us more.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency is being investigated for alleged Trump bias during hurricane relief efforts. On Tuesday, FEMA Director Deanne Criswell appeared before Congress to request an Inspector General investigation. This comes after they fired an employee who gave contradictory directions to her staff during Hurricane Milton relief efforts.
This employee wrote to about 11 staffers under her supervision that they should, quote, avoid homes advertising Trump, end quote.
The employee claims that she was only following the task force lead's orders, being that they were in a, quote, politically hostile territory.
There are accounts of Trump supporters being very passionate about their political stance, and unfortunately, that led to them saying they would either do bodily harm to FEMA workers or they would do take threatening actions towards FEMA workers. And that was the trend, not just in Florida, but you'll see that in North Carolina as well.
But now the investigation is searching to uncover if this incident was a one-off.
This same employee alleged on TV that this was not an isolated event and that FEMA essentially treats the homes of President Trump supporters as if they were homes of people with vicious dogs.
The request is in writing where it says to implement best practices, and one item on that list is to avoid Trump homes. Yet Criswell says it does not represent the culture of FEMA.
It's not indicative of the rest of our workforce, and it is completely unacceptable.
And as unacceptable as it is, Washington believes that she is not at fault for the direction.
But I'm the scapegoat here because it doesn't make any sense. You have someone with a clean record that comes highly recommended, and then you have someone that's been demoted in the past for egregious acts, yet you retain this person and promote them, but yet fire me and basically leave me out to be scrutinized and lie and tell the American people I was working on my own volition. I don't create policy. FEMA does.
For UMTV, I'm Amanda Muhammad.
And now with all this intense weather, let's see what we have in store for Miami, Gracie.
Quinn Davidson is back with us in studio to tell us more. Quinn?
You guys, I'm sure you felt it this morning waking up and heading outside. It is finally fall here in South Florida. Temperatures all across the slate in the low 70s and upper 60s, actually 64 degrees in Fort Myers. Pretty chilly. And tomorrow we're talking really chilly, 49 degrees in both West Palm Beach and Fort Myers, and up in the 50s here in Miami. Key West did not get the memo. It is staying 68 degrees, so maybe if you want some more, head down there. Our dew points are pretty indicative that there is a low drop in humidity by Saturday, so it's going to be pretty pleasant. When you head out of the house, the sunshine is going to be absolutely beautiful, and luckily we have no rip current risk, so if you want to brave the cold and head out to the beaches, it is looking to be safe and a very fun time. And I know we have virtual class here for the University of Miami, and all across the board, pretty pleasant conditions, except if you are in Chicago, it will be in the upper 30s. That is quite cold. And as you head into other places that a lot of UM students call home, mostly 50s and 60s, but 81 here in Miami. And our 7-day forecast, absolutely gorgeous. We have sunshine nearly every single day with the potential for some clouds on Tuesday, but every single temperature noting that cold front, 54 degrees tomorrow morning. And by the time we head to Thanksgiving, it's going to be gorgeous in the 80s and looking like a great week ahead.
Thanks, Quinn. The University of Miami is a hub for climate change research, and at the center of much of this work is talks of sustainability. But these ideas are not just in the classroom. They're also being put into practice here on campus. You might have seen these pink bins by the food court and dining halls on the University of Miami Coral Gables campus. But what are they? They're composting bins, used by the kitchens in the dining halls and food court to get rid of their veggie scraps and eggshells. It's a new initiative by the school to be more sustainable with food waste. And with dining services feeding thousands every day, that's a lot of waste that in Florida has nowhere to go.
We don't have a composting industrial facility in our region. So a bin that says composting, and you can put meat and compostable plastic, whatever in there, that's not feasible here.
That means that food scraps like this that can be composted, instead, they end up here with the rest of Miami's trash. That's why, as part of the school's goal to divert 90% of its waste from landfills by 2035, it partnered with Compost for Life, a company that takes the scraps made by the dining halls while cooking. It's a simple step that has already seen 30% of the produce that dining halls buy being composted this year. According to University of Miami officials, that's 43 tons of waste that, before, would have ended up at a landfill. But while this is an improvement, UM Sustainability says that only about 1/3 of the trash made on campus this year will be diverted from landfills, and only a small fraction of that will be from composted waste.
I feel like it would be a very easy addition just to have like a composting bin for people to put their food waste.
I think the University of Miami does a pretty good job compared to most schools, but yeah, I don't think there's ever like enough. I think we could be doing more.
But even though the dream of a zero-waste and carbon-neutral campus seems far at the moment, initiatives like Compost for Life are just the beginning in the quest to keep UM's beautiful campus around for another 100 years. Ben Freeman, UMTV.
Time for a short break, but when NewsVision returns, we'll tell you more about Trump's latest cabinet picks and the controversy around them. More when we return.
I mean, even though I want to be on air, my favorite memory of NewsVision was when I was a freshman. It was like the third week of the semester, not even, and they had nobody to run graphics. So they said, hey, freshman, can you run graphics? And I did. And even though I was shaking the whole time, I did not mess up, and it was a great show. And just that being thrown into it really fast made me realize that NewsVision's going to boost me up in my career, and it definitely did. One thing that I do tell people to do when they're trying to get into NewsVision or UMTV overall is that you have to make people know who you are. Just keep showing up. Even if you audition and you don't get what you wanted, you still just show up, show them that you're still interested, and never give up, because continuing to persist is what's going to make a difference in your future career. I mean, obviously the faculty behind NewsVision is great. I couldn't have done literally anything I did without them, and still going up until the very day I graduate. They'll be working with me.
Thank you for staying with NewsVision. New York prosecutors argue against dismissing President-elect Donald Trump's hush money conviction. However, the prosecutors are potentially willing to delay the sentencing until Trump finishes his second term in office. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office announced in a court filing that even though Trump is now the president-elect, that is not grounds to drop a previously tried case. If dismissed, Trump would be spared of criminal record in addition to a potential prison sentence. Sentencing is set for November 26th, and Trump's lawyers are continuing the fight to get the case dropped.
And while Trump is uncertain about his sentencing, he is certain about one thing: his cabinet picks. Political anchor Billy Brightman is here to tell us more.
Hello and welcome to NewsVision's Red, White, and You. I'm Billy Brightman. To prepare for their upcoming term, a president starts selecting a cabinet from the moment they're elected, as we see Donald Trump doing now. But what exactly is a cabinet, and what's the process like? The automatic cabinet positions include the vice president, attorney general, and the heads of 15 executive departments, aka the secretaries of state, defense, education, and more. Traditionally, other positions are included in the cabinet too. President Biden has a cabinet of 26 that includes positions such as chief of staff, administrator of the EPA, and director of the CIA. But with the structure of the U.S. government, a president can't just stick people in these positions. The cabinet-level positions must be confirmed by the Senate. This can happen before Inauguration Day, but in recent years the process has gotten much slower. And while rare, the Senate can reject a nomination. No cabinet position has been rejected since 1989 under George H.W. Bush, because president-elects can usually feel if a candidate will be rejected and they will replace them first. This very thing was seen today as Florida Representative Matt Gaetz, who was tapped by President-elect Trump to be Attorney General, announced that he would be withdrawing his nomination. Gaetz was previously investigated by the FBI for sex trafficking and recently faced allegations of paying two women $10,000 for sex. In a statement posted on X, Gaetz said in part, "It is clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There's no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I will be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be in place and ready on day one." Other notable positions like Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk for the Department of Government Efficiency and Tom Homan for Border Czar are not technically cabinet positions and therefore do not need Senate confirmation. Ben?
Thanks, Billy. Border czar Tom Homan is also part of the Trump administration's new deportation plan, which aims to execute one of the largest mass deportations in U.S. history. Critics now warn of significant economic and social impacts that could come with the plan. Trump has outlined a sweeping deportation plan to remove millions of undocumented immigrants from the United States. The strategy would involve declaration of a national emergency and possibly start using military support, making it one of the most ambitious efforts in American history. The plan draws sharp criticism from legal experts and advocates, including the ACLU.
Have said they're going to execute the largest domestic deportation operation in U.S. history. No expense spared. In order to get that done, the Trump administration is going to have to go into American communities. We're not talking about the border. We are talking about towns and cities across the United States.
Despite the criticisms, Trump officials insist the plan is necessary to enforce U.S. immigration laws. But opponents are gearing up for a legal battle that could stall or stop the operation altogether.
The judge in the murder trial of 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley has found migrant Jose Ibarra guilty on all counts, including murder and kidnapping. Riley was a Georgia nursing student, and she was found dead on February 22nd after going on a run on the UGA campus. The case captured people's attention and sparked discussion on illegal migrants in the U.S.
Laken's life was not the only life taken on that day that Jose Ibarra attacked her. The life of her family and friends was taken too. None of us will ever be the same.
Family, friends of Laken Riley facing the man convicted of her murder in court to honor her life while detailing the immense loss caused by Jose Ibarra.
Laken had a beautiful and bright future. She was smart, hardworking, kind, thoughtful, and most importantly, she was a child of God.
With Ibarra watching, Laken's stepfather reading a final entry from Laken's journal, expressing her hopes for the future that will never come.
To my future husband, I want you to know that I'm thinking about you. I'm working every day to become the best wife I can be.
Laken's sister describing her as a best friend and role model, saying she'll miss her infectious laugh, while also describing how this crime robbed her of her sense of safety.
Jose Antonio Ibarra has completely and utterly ruined my life, and I can only hope and pray that he receives a sentence that ruins his. Thank you.
The judge handed down the sentence after Ibarra waived his right to a trial by jury. Ibarra has been sentenced to life in prison without parole. And this past weekend, students of color at the University of Miami held a leadership conference aiming to remove negative stereotypes. Brothers Overcoming Negativity and Destruction, or BOND, is an on-campus organization that promotes exemplary models for minority males on campus. The leadership conference, hosted in the Shalala Student Center, included faculty members as panelists. They provided students with insight on leadership positions and determination. The mission of BOND is to ensure students of color have a community and space for self-enrichment on campus.
I think in first coming into the university, I was kind of looking for that community of other men of color on campus that are looking to succeed and looking to be leaders and looking to kind of create spaces for those other students like them that exist on this campus.
No events are planned yet for next semester, but information about BOND can be found on Engage and with their Instagram handle, U-Miami-Bond.
Disabilities can isolate people and make many feel like outcasts. Shay McDonald introduces us to one group that is taken to the seas to help build a community.
Like most Miami natives, Andrew Alvader enjoys being on the water, and 4 years ago, one program helped him discover his passion.
The vibes here are so good, dude. It's always good vibes at Shake a Leg. Everyone's always happy here, always wanting to teach and help you, just be there for you with everything.
Andrew is a skipper at Shake a Leg Miami in Coconut Grove, which is an organization that works with people with physical and mental disabilities. Through sailing, shipbuilding, and other sea skills, they are given a chance to build confidence and new skills. But taking that first step can sometimes be a challenge.
No, I can't do this. I can't do the tiller. He didn't want to do it, refused for 5 minutes at least.
Don has been with Shake a Leg for more than 8 years and says it's common for a person with disabilities to be hesitant about sailing at first, but when they do, it does wonders for them.
And finally, when he put his hands on the tiller and started steering the boat, he went to smiling. And today, he was eager to go out because it gave him some confidence, and he got over the fear of being on the water and doing something on his own.
And that's what Shake a Leg is all about, giving confidence, independence, and empowerment to those with disabilities. The program started in 1990 with Harry Horgan, whose own disabilities inspired him to create it to help others like him. And its mission is to build skills and confidence that go past their work on the docks.
The goal of them developing the skill sets that they can go find themselves a paid job, a volunteer job, but doing something where they feel they have a purpose. And with a feeling of purpose, anything's possible.
It worked for skipper Andrew, who's been inspired by mentors like Don and Harry, who've helped him grow with the program and get involved enough to give back.
He's a good sailor, first off. Good skipper, the guy is just very nice. Always always looking happy, always want to talk and help you with anything. Harry's another great guy here. Dude, I go on all day, honestly, about the people here at Shake Lake, man. They're all so cool. Everyone's cool here.
Over the last year alone, the program has had 30,000 visits, helping disabled people find their own footing and gain new skills and independence.
They're motivated, and then the determination that I can make a difference. I can accomplish something. I can go out and maybe just get a job. I can be self-sufficient. I can be independent.
UMTV, Shay McDonald.
Coming up, what does Canes football need to do to be in the ACC Championship? Find out after this short message from a familiar, handsome face.
My favorite memory of NewsVision? I wouldn't say it's a specific memory, but me and one of our other graduates from last year, Andrew Klein, would always just work together in such a cohesive manner. He showed me the ropes as to what it takes to be a sports anchor on this show, and couldn't be thankful for all the memories we built throughout that entire time. For all of you younger UMTV members, and even people that aren't necessarily a part of UMTV yet, just be a part of whatever you want to be a part of, you know? Even though I wasn't casted as an on-air member for my first semester on UMTV, I just showed up and decided to learn, and I think that was very valuable in growing myself professionally and just being able to help out with every area of UMTV. I'm very thankful for all the faculty that helped me out here at NewsVision. Professor Treadwell always making sure my script was fantastic, and I can't thank you enough for that. Professor Green just calling me on the live shot, just that dynamic was always fun to deal with. So, and then Ben, just the Swiss Army knife when it comes to everything UMTV. Can't thank you guys enough for all the help that you've given me throughout my career.
Hello and welcome to Sports for the last time with yours truly, Zach Macer. Basketball season is officially in full swing and the Canes men's team have been in an offensive juggernaut so far. Let me show you with some highlights against Coppin State. So here we are. We're going to get it started early because Matthew Cleveland from the corner is automatic. Nigel Pack with the feed, Matthew with the three-pointer. And then it's Jalen Blackman finding Cleveland again. He hits that three as well. He ends up having 3 threes on the night, 15 points as well. And then it is Johnson with the huge junk there. Nigel Pack all the way from the logo. How about that three there? Miami would just pull away, score so fast. And then those cookies were stolen on that inbounds pass. And then take a look at the freshman connection. Austin Swartz finding Jalil Bethea, three-pointer there. That's good. He had 2 threes on the night for his 7 points. And then to end it off, Divine Ugo Chukwu splits the defenders, goes up and under, and one. How about that? Miami ended up winning 93-63, but ended up dropping today to Drake 80-69 for a 4-1 record on the season so far. In the football world, the Canes are gearing up for their last home matchup against Wake Forest on Saturday. Their ACC championship aspirations are in their own hands. It's a pretty simple path to the championship. For the Canes, if you win, you're in. If they do that, they would have a 7-1 ACC record, but that's the same as Clemson. However, Miami would be in the championship over Clemson because they beat more common opponents than Clemson. Miami beat FSU, Wake Forest in this hypothetical scenario, and Louisville, while Clemson beat the first two respectively, but lost to Louisville. However, Miami is only in if they beat their next two opponents, Wake Forest and Syracuse, to finish their regular season. Miami football alum Cam Kinchens is tearing it up in the gridiron for this season with the Los Angeles Rams. His efforts have not gone unnoticed. Kinchens was awarded the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award for the Week 11 of the NFL season, following a strong performance against New England. Kinchens recorded 8 tackles, a forced fumble, and a game-clinching interception in the fourth quarter. This is the second time in the last 3 weeks that Kinchens has won the award, as he also took home the honor in Week 9. This makes him the first defensive rookie since 2019 to win the award multiple times in a season, and the first rookie since 2009 to win the award twice in a 3-week span. Kinchens will look to continue his impressive rookie campaign against the Eagles on Sunday night. And for one last time, that's all from sports from me. Guys.
From everyone on NewsVision and UMTV, we will miss you. Still ahead, we'll show you how one organization here in South Florida is using a garden as their classroom to teach healthy habits. NewsVision will be right back.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Today is Give Miami Day, the biggest fundraiser for hundreds of nonprofits across Miami. Through donations and events, residents can give back to their community. Taryn Jacobs is live at one event, kicking up a good time to raise money as part of Give Miami Day. Taryn, what's going on over there?
Ben, the festivities kicked off here at Pegaso Soccer just about an hour ago. The Soccer for Peace Foundation, also known as FCC USA, and Play, an app where people can play soccer with others with just the click of a button, have partnered together to host this Friendsgiving soccer tournament. Registration is required for the tournament, and the fee not only goes towards gameplay, refreshments, and networking, but also the chance to make a bigger difference in the community. Part of the proceeds will be going to Give Miami Day, which has already raised over $11 million. And this tournament is not the only event going on this week to help raise money. Later this week, other local nonprofits will be hosting meditations, cooking classes, and more. The two hosting organizations will give attendees the chance to teach the younger generation essential skills while helping them build confidence. You can also come to the event to just cheer from the sidelines. The tournament will be going on until 10 p.m. tonight, so make sure you stop by and give back to your local community. From Pegaso Soccer, Taryn Jacobs, UMTV.
Thanks, Taryn. November is the month of giving, and Give Miami Day is just one event where people are giving back to the Miami community. Here on campus, one professional fraternity is making sure they help women in the community. Members of Phi Delta Epsilon Medical Fraternity gathered to prepare hygiene kits for women's shelters. The kits include basic hygiene necessities, such as hair combs, toothbrushes, and toothpaste. Service is one of the core pillars of the frat, and this initiative focuses on the essential needs of women.
Hygiene is a really important aspect of your health, and we hope that by providing these materials and that these women might not already have access to, we can help them have a healthier lifestyle and also just put a smile on their face.
The Phi Delta Epsilon frat is making a difference one kit at a time and hopes to continue their service in the coming semesters.
And Phi Delta Epsilon is not the only organization on campus helping the community this November. AMSA, the pre-med student group, partnered with the Live Like Bella Foundation to create prayer blankets for children in need. AMSA members spent the evening crafting blankets to be donated to Nicholas Children's Hospital. Students hope to bring a sense of comfort to children not able to spend the holiday season at home.
The prayer blankets provide a sense of comfort and support and a little extra warmth during tough times that the patients really love.
The Live Like Bella Foundation honors 10-year-old Bella Rodriguez Torres' brave battle against cancer. After tragically passing in 2013, her legacy lives on through events like these, focusing on care and community.
And speaking of charity, one Miami nonprofit is dedicated to supporting at-risk kids by creating a community garden in Little Havana. The kids take care of the garden as an outdoor classroom. Ariel Weil had a chance to check it out.
Amigos for Kids has been addressing vital issues faced by children in Miami, from ensuring safe environments to promoting education and healthy living.
A lot of children are worried about going outside, not wanting to interact with the outdoors, and seeing that the digital screen is easier than understanding how important it is to be with your hands, with your feelings, with your sensory, right?
One growing concern is the increase in childhood obesity within Miami communities.
A lot of us have a lot of high processed foods on a daily basis. In fact, we don't even know what's in our food nowadays.
Introducing a collaborative initiative at Jose Marti Park, a place that's about to transform into more than just a recreational space. This garden aims to be a hands-on solution to childhood obesity, where children and families learn the importance of nutritious food, gardening skills, and a lifelong love for sustainable practices.
As soon as one of the children smelled cilantro, she said, "My mom cooks with this. I did not know this is how it looked like. I did not know this is where it came from. And I can't wait to tell my mom about this."
This dream is becoming a reality thanks to a dynamic group called Impact for MIA. Together, Amigos for Kids and Impact for MIA are creating a safe space that goes beyond a garden.
Even when we're working on the garden, people will stop by and say, how can they help? How can they get involved? So I love that about this community, that it's just very close-knit.
I think in this day and age, we have so much going on and everybody's go, go, go. And we don't take back to realize what kind of like Mother Earth gives back to us. Where does our food come from, right? From seed to table. And we're gonna give the community an opportunity to see how that really happens.
The garden is more than just plants and soil. It's a solution to a pressing issue, an educational tool, and a beacon of hope for a healthier future for children.
Impact for MIA!
For UMTV, I'm Ariel Weil.
Well, Gracie, I just love seeing so many charity organizations in Miami, but I also wanted to say that as this half comes to a close, it has been an honor and a pleasure to anchor alongside you these last two semesters.
Oh my gosh, well you too, Ben Freeman. I have loved it. But time for another break now, but don't go anywhere because there is more NewsVision coming your way.
But first, we want to say goodbye to our seniors here at UMTV.
Billy, it's just been an amazing time here being on UMTV, or NewsVision, with everyone here, and it's now time for us to pass our segments along to our respective partners.
And hey, I don't think we could have chosen anybody better to take over after us. This next generation of UMTV's definitely got it strong.
So Billy, I got one question. What's your favorite UMTV memory?
I'm not gonna pick just one. Especially NewsVision alone, I got to do so much. I got to start a new segment here with you. I got to be lead live reporter and go out on so many stories. I got to cover my first election. I mean, there's really nothing better than here at UMTV.
What about you, Zach? Oh, I mean, Billy said it best, just countless memories, but I feel like the places that I've gone with, the physical places that I've gone in UMTV, just I've been able to travel to Tallahassee and throughout the Miami area. I got to go to a political campaign party. It was just amazing, and I'm so thankful for UMTV for all those moments.
For sure. And there's more NewsVision coming up after the break, so even though we're heading out, you still got more to watch.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. One in 3 adults has prediabetes, and you could be one of them. There are usually no signs for prediabetes, so it's important to understand your risk. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill? No.
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kids should know.
Still ahead on tonight's special hour-long edition of NewsVision. Those traveling home for the holidays may be facing record crowds. We'll take a look at what travel conditions are expected. Plus, the student organization Category 5 is known for their presence leading the student section at nearly all sporting events. And its members are competing to be nationally recognized for their school spirit. And later on, one local artist's work is being showcased on the field. We'll tell you how this artist is using cleats as a canvas. All this and more on tonight's show, and it starts right now.
Thank you for staying with us for this special edition of NewsVision. I'm Max Keller.
And I'm Emmeline Smith, and we continue tonight with Biden's response at the G20 summit, an informal meeting with the leaders of the world's top economies, as his presidency is nearing the end.
Political anchor Shay McDonald is here in the studio to tell us more. Shay?
Welcome back to Red, White, and You. I'm Shay McDonald. Thanks for sticking with us. First off, we have breaking news. As in place of Matt Gaetz, Donald Trump has chosen former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi as his next Attorney General. Bondi was one of Trump's defense lawyers during his first impeachment trial. As for the outgoing president, as Joe Biden's term comes to a close, he's also been very busy. With the war in Ukraine still raging on, President Biden has made a massive decision. He's given Ukraine authorization to use American long-range missiles to strike back against Russia. Days after this declaration, the Ukrainians fired 6 ballistic missiles at a Russian facility 100 miles from the Ukrainian border. Russian officials say that 5 of the 6 were shot down, with the 6th being disrupted, resulting in minimal damage. Additionally, Biden has authorized use of anti-personnel mines, but those are restricted to staying within Ukrainian borders. That wasn't Biden's only move in foreign affairs, as this past week saw him attend the G20 conference in Brazil. There he again voiced his support for Ukraine.
The United States strongly supports Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Everyone around this table, in my view, should as well.
While at the conference, Biden stressed to foreign leaders around the globe the importance of protecting the environment even after he leaves office.
History is watching us. History is watching. I urge us to keep faith and keep going. This is the single greatest existential threat to humanity if we do not deal with climate change.
While in Brazil, Biden also became the first president to visit the Amazon rainforest. There he signed a declaration making November 17th International Conservation Day. That wasn't all, as the president announced efforts to mobilize hundreds of millions of dollars for reforestation efforts after wildfires burned down 13 million acres in the Amazon. Biden hopes efforts like these can become a building point for the next administration.
I will leave my successor and my country at a strong foundation to build on if they choose to do so. It's true, some may seek to deny or delay the clean energy revolution that's underway in America. But nobody can reverse it. Nobody.
These are both issues that Trump is expected to take a much different approach at tackling. Trump's previous relationships with Putin and Russia, paired with his statements about ending the war quickly, have left many wondering if he will reduce or entirely stop sending aid to Ukraine. As for climate change, Trump took the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement during his last term and is picked to lead the EPA. Lee Zeldin is expected to cut regulations. There's still plenty of time for both situations to develop and change as Biden heads out and Trump steps in. Guys?
Thank you, Shay. If you're flying out for Thanksgiving, you might need to keep an eye on the best time to book your ticket because of a nationwide staffing shortage. The Federal Aviation Administration says the Northeast could be hit the hardest. In May, airports in New York were short around 3,000 air traffic controllers. The FAA says it hit a yearly goal to hire around 1,800 controllers, but many airports say they are still waiting to feel the results. The Tuesday before Thanksgiving will most likely be the busiest travel day. The FAA says any slowdowns in air traffic will be done to keep the sky safe for travelers. And Emmeline, I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to go home for Thanksgiving break. I'll be heading back to Nashville to spend time with my family.
I'm heading back up to Jupiter, just a short trip, and I'm hoping to spend some time by the pool if the weather permits for me.
Well, thankfully, Lauren Harrington's right here in the studio to tell us more about the weather. Lauren, what can I expect when heading home?
Thanks, Max. Everyone's headed home for the holidays, and I know I myself am excited for a break. I'm headed home tomorrow morning from the Miami International Airport, so let's take a look at the forecast for those headed home as well. Into tomorrow morning, it's expected to be the coldest temperature since February, but luckily that does not impact flights. Into the afternoon, we can expect it to be partly cloudy with some sun into the low 70s, and into the evening, a little bit chillier in the low 60s with clear skies. But for those staying home in Miami for Thanksgiving, don't worry, we did not forget about you. It's expected to be a day stuffed with sunshine and just an absolutely gorgeous day with the low 80s and just a sunny, sunny day. Emmeline?
Thank you, Lauren. And as you are preparing to fly, know that Spirit Airlines has filed for bankruptcy, making it the first major U.S. airline to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy since 2011. The Florida-based airline company made the announcement on Monday, adding that all current tickets will be honored. In a statement from Spirit, they have reassured customers that, quote, you can continue to book and fly now and in the future. Spirit made an attempt to merge with JetBlue earlier this year, but the deal was blocked by a federal judge. Now their efforts will shift to reconstructing its debits.
Prom is one of the most memorable events for millions of girls across the U.S., but for many, it's a moment they can't afford. When NewsVision continues, we'll introduce you to one girl who is helping other girls have the best prom ever.
It's important to get a flu shot each and every year because flu viruses are constantly changing and immunity from the vaccine decreases over time. Flu vaccines are updated annually to work against that year's viruses. The best time to get your shot is in the fall, but getting it later can still help. Getting a flu shot lowers your risk of getting sick, and if you do happen to get flu, it's likely to be less severe.
Thank you for staying with NewsVision. One South Florida-based organization has been providing school dance dresses to girls in need for over 2 decades in honor of the founder's late daughter. Kayla Butter has the story.
For teenage girls like Sarah Osorio, homecoming and prom are important milestones that they want to look their best for.
Everyone always talks about how prom is so special and how you'll remember it forever, so obviously you want to feel pretty for that.
But not everyone can afford their dream dress.
For a while, I was kind of dreading prom, just thinking about the dress and the shoes and knowing my family couldn't afford it.
And that's where an organization called Becca's Closet comes in. The Broward County-based nonprofit collects and distributes dresses to high school girls who could not afford them. It was started in 2003 by Jay and Pam Kurtman after their 16-year-old daughter Rebecca was killed in a car accident. During her freshman year of high school, Becca launched a dress drive to help her peers who could not afford to buy a prom dress. And after she passed away, her parents made it their life goal to honor her legacy.
She was so fun, and she was not perfect. She was just a regular kid, just like everybody else, who just wanted to make a difference.
Making a difference in the lives of young girls is the organization's main goal.
They don't have to feel like they're going to look different than anybody else. And they're just going to go out and they're going to have a great time, and they're not going to have to worry about, oh my God, look what I'm wearing.
And for girls like Sarah, Becca's Closet did just that.
I felt like I could just enjoy being in high school, at a school dance with my friends, instead of worrying about anything else going on.
The foundation also helps underserved girls by buying prom tickets and giving away scholarships to those who need it, something Jay and Pam hope keeps Becca's name alive.
We're going to make sure that somebody knows who Rebecca was, what she did, what she stood for, and that is the beauty, because we know this is going to continue forever. There will always be somebody getting something from Rebecca.
Now, Becca's Closet has over 50 chapters in more than 20 U.S. states and has donated tens of thousands of dresses in the past 2 decades.
I think she would have just been humble about it like she was when she was doing that project, and she would say, I'm so happy that everybody gets to have a great time.
Like Rebecca said, little things can make a big difference in someone's life. And look how big this got.
Kayla Butter, UMTV.
Many children living in South Florida face trauma and hardship beyond school hours. But one nonprofit holds a program to give students a special and enjoyable after-school experience. Jordan Cerullo is here in studio with more. Jordan?
At Myrtle Grove Elementary School in Miami Lakes, students are living in poverty, lacking basic needs such as food and housing. Now, one woman is working to change that.
At just 12 years old, Ebony Johnson discovered her passion for teaching and caring for children. It is no wonder, given that she was raised by a well-respected leader in the Miami community. Her mother, the late Shirley B. Johnson, founded the Miami-Dade NAACP Youth Council in 2008 and remained an inspiration dedicated to helping the community throughout her life.
And I watched her from the moment I was born until the day that she passed away. Her dedication to services, her dedication to children, her dedication to education.
Shirley's hard work inspired Ebony to become a teacher for Miami-Dade public elementary schools. But educating the next generation was not enough for Ebony, so she went a step farther.
So it's been 23 years since we've opened the resource room, and our goal was to create a safe haven for children, make sure that they have quality after-school programming, making sure that we give them educational opportunities.
Johnson established an after-school program that provides a safe, nurturing space where children can learn lifelong skills and have countless opportunities.
If you can't eat, if you can't have a good meal, if you can't wash your clothes, then it's very hard for you to be a good student in school. And sometimes it stops you from going to school. So we try to change some of those barriers.
The Resource Room After School program isn't the only thing Ebony created. She takes community service a swing further with the opening of Golf Miami 305.
Golf Miami 305 is an indoor and outdoor facility where children can take after-school golf lessons.
I love it here, and I feel happiness here.
Johnson partners with golf coach Damian Kennedy, who teaches the kids various golf skills such as swinging a club and putting as they rotate through different stations at the facility.
Working with Ebony has been an absolute dream. I met her from doing another golf event. She explained her entire vision of Golf Miami, what she was doing. I decided to pour my all into it and give her every single resource and piece of knowledge available to make this place as fantastic as it is.
For the many children and their families she's helped, Ebony is a bright light and a selfless leader who brings joy and opportunity to everyone she serves, just like her mother.
When you're full of love and laughter and you embrace children where they are, you have to just smile. You have to love it. I mean, I'm a big kid and I promise myself I won't grow up in that way.
Ebony will continue to be the big kid in the classroom for years to come. For UMTV, I'm Jordan Cerullo.
The Resource Room after-school programs take place each day from 3 to 6 p.m., while golf lessons take place at Golf Miami 305 every Tuesday and Thursday. For UMTV, I'm Jordan Cerullo.
Thank you, Jordan. The University of Miami's Project Public Health Club celebrated the end of the semester with a paint and stretch event to help the community relax before finals. On Wednesday, November 20th, students gathered on the Shalala Student Center terrace for a peaceful night of painting canvases and a yoga session. Both activities are scientifically proven to calm the nervous system and reduce the stress that wrapping up a semester often brings.
No matter how many people show up, if that one person does and we're able to help one person at all, then we're doing a good thing, and just giving a platform for students to come to events that they are excited about is great.
As a public health organization, Project Public Health emphasizes taking care of yourself physically and mentally with both educational and recreational events throughout the semester.
Up next on sports, Miami's women's basketball team has started the season off strong. Let's find out how they fared against an in-state rival after the break.
Thousands of kids start vaping, and I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Welcome to sports. I'm John Stanley. Legendary college basketball coach Gino Auriemma celebrated 40 years coaching the UConn Huskies women's basketball program Wednesday night, and the celebration came with an extra cherry on top. Auriemma and the Huskies beat Fairleigh Dickinson 85-41, which makes Auriemma the most winning college basketball coach in NCAA history, with 1,216 wins. Auriemma has 11 total national championships, an 88% winning percentage, and has only had a losing season one time in his 40-year career. Auriemma is now immortalized as the greatest coach in women's basketball history and will look to lead the number 2 seed Huskies to another Final Four appearance later this season. Zach Macer told you in the first part of the program how basketball is in full swing, but what he didn't tell you is how the women's team has been steamrolling their opponents. I'll show you how in the highlights against rival FIU. We'll start off late first quarter here. Haley Cavender with an outlet pass up to Jasmine Roberts for the finish to tie the game up. Next possession, Hannah Cavender finds her sister off the screen, and she'll lay that in through some contact. A big-time play there from the Twins. Second quarter now, Cavender again. Nice skip pass to the wing, and it's Darian Rogers, and she's cash money for the three. Big-time shot there for the senior. Before halftime, Leah Harmon drives, Euro step, and she's got eyes in the back of her head. Great pass there. Swing pass to the corner, and Rogers again. She cannot miss from three. Some great ball movement there from the Canes. Third quarter now, Cavender drives and dishes the no-look pass for the bucket. A little showtime from the senior. And now, end of the game, Rogers again in the corner. She'll pump fake once. She'll pump fake again, and she'll lay it in. It was a big night for Rogers. She led the way scoring with 12. Canes win 79-51, and they start the season 4-0 for the fourth year in a row. Inter Miami head coach Gerardo Tata Martino stepped away from the program on Tuesday, a shocking move in the MLS world. Martino led Inter Miami to a record-setting regular season, where the squad earned the most points in the league history with 74. Despite their regular season success, Inter Miami failed to secure any postseason hardware, losing in the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup and being eliminated in the round of 16 of the 2024 Leagues Cup this season. Martino attributes his departure to, quote, personal reasons, and will address the public in a press conference on Friday. He will be remembered for bringing international superstars such as Jordi Alba, Luis Suarez, and Sergio Busquets to the MLS to join Lionel Messi on the Miami squad for a magical 2024 regular season. At most sporting events here on campus, you can see a large group of students waving a red hurricane warning flag. Those students are part of Category 5. From giveaways to traditions, like setting off fire extinguishers at football games, Cat 5 is responsible for getting fans excited at all sporting events. And on Wednesday, Taco Bell paid a special visit to campus to award Cat 5 the Live Moss Student Section of Traditions Award. Recognized as one of the most passionate fan bases in college football, the campus was awarded with an event featuring over 7,000 tacos. But the fun does not stop there.
So today we're actually finally announcing that we're one of the finalists for the Student Section of the Year Award, sponsored by Taco Bell and Live Moss. So we're actually one of the top 3 finalists. We do have the best traditions in college football.
To show your support, students can download the Taco Bell app and join their rewards program to cast their vote. If Cat 5 wins, Taco Bell has promised a prize for the organization and campus. Many professional athletes rock custom cleats and shoes on and off the field. But where do many of these athletes get them from? As Taryn Jacobs tells us, it comes from one University of Miami alum.
Marcus Rivero, better known as Souls by Sir, has been making waves in the professional sports world for almost 15 years.
I was doing the actual math the other day, and I think I've done about 30,000 pairs at this point.
But those 30,000 cleats didn't happen overnight. His passion for painting shoes started with a gift.
So like 14 years ago, I was making a pair of shoes for somebody for Valentine's Day because I didn't want to give them the typical chocolates and candy, and this person hated sneakers. So I was like, I'm gonna buy sneakers. I couldn't find them in a color I liked. So I said, hey, I can paint this, how hard can this be?
After a simple Instagram post, his work took off. And for someone with a business degree who owned tire shops, his career path was changed by former NFL cornerback Nolan Carroll.
Well, that man called me 7 nights in a row, every night, and I told him no for the first 6. And on the 7th night, I got so annoyed. And I was like, you know what, I'll just do it for you. I'll do it for free because I don't even know if it's gonna work.
And I think he shocked himself by the great job that he did and the technique that he used. And like I said, we just kept going from there. I don't think I ever had a cleat where the paint ever came off. And I played in some crazy conditions.
And the secret to keeping the paint intact, lots of layers.
The average one of my shoes is 40 to 60 layers of paint. It has to be so thin because the paint's gotta be, it's gotta be able to move and flow when the guy bends the shoe.
Marcus works with each client to create the design for the pair, and his favorites are the verbal mock-ups. Most recently, he worked with Miami Dolphins guard Lester Cotton on a special pair for Dolphins Challenge Cancer.
So he's making some colorway cleat when he's colliding like blues and purples because those are their favorite colors.
And Marcus has built a personal relationship with many of his clients.
For us, it's never been business with me. My thing was, let me go ahead and tell my teammates about your skills. Then I just always wanted him to continue to grow, continue to elevate.
But Marcus says his favorite part of the job is not only the relationships he builds, but his clients' reactions when they see the pair.
Like, I love turn-ins. I love FaceTime reveals because most of my athletes that I work with are adults. They're grown men and women. But when you see their face, just envision you as a 10-year-old girl on Christmas getting the gift you were waiting for.
Taryn Jacobs, UMTV.
After the break, we'll take you to a live news spot in Kendall that's bringing holiday cheer to South Florida and might come with some controversy. Stay with us.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
While South Florida will not get snow this holiday season, some are trying to create a winter wonderland right here in Miami. Chris Perez is live at Tropical Park, where a controversy has sparked around one Christmas celebration. Chris, what's the issue?
Max, just behind me is where Santa's Enchanted Forest used to be, an iconic attraction here in Florida that's been open for the past 20 years. But this year, Christmas Wonderland has been reimagined and is here at Tropical Park now, and it is owned and operated by a completely different company. Since their lease expired in 2020, Santa's relocated to Hialeah and Medley, and in 2023, Christmas Wonderland opened in Tropical Park and faced a lawsuit by Santa's, who then decided not to open at all this year. While some feel optimistic that it is a nice change that is coming here, others feel like they'll miss what Santa's had to offer for this season.
Definitely when I first heard the news, it was definitely very defeating. This was a childhood memory, especially living in Miami that is just straight tropics. We don't have winter wonderlands. So this was always a highlight for me as a kid.
To rides breaking down, filthy parks, you know, they did not take care of their own brand, and that inevitably landed on what I think is Tropical Park, and Tropical Park said, no, we don't want it.
Exact reason for their closure is not exactly clear, and there is no statement on it. Some people think it's for the best. And since it seems like we're losing yet another iconic Miami landmark that I grew up visiting, I still think there's some holiday cheer to go around. And now that Christmas Wonderland is taking the reins and carrying on this tradition, Miami families have another place to come and visit and make some new memories for this holiday season. Reporting from Tropical Park, live from Tropical Park, in front of Christmas Wonderland, I'm Christopher Perez, UMTV.
With the holiday season coming up, we have so much to look forward to, Max.
Yep, lots of great gifts coming our way, and food and company.
Well, that's all the time we have for this semester here on NewsVision.
But we'll be back in January. Until then, happy holidays and stay safe.